Here's a Florida 2026 guide for must-know tips in Hispanic legal marketing. And frankly, even if you're not from Florida, this could be very, very beneficial to you. This is a playbook that you're going to want to use if you want to market in Spanish in Florida. And we're citing a lot of examples from competition in Florida that's employing this playbook right now. So quick context on me. My name is Hugo E. Gomez. I'm the founder of Abogados Now. We've helped over 500 law firms nationwide, $250 million in settlement fees. We're also a Google Premier Partner Agency, which puts us at the top 3% of agencies in the United States. We built the #1 bilingual marketing agency in America, and Florida is our backyard.
Before we continue, a quick note and the only break you'll hear in today's episode. Most attorneys know they should be reaching Hispanic clients, but very few do it well. That's where we come in. At Abogados Now, we build authentic Spanish language campaigns that actually get you more cases and grow your practice. So if you're looking for a new way to get more clients, book a call with our team today at abogadosnow.com. Now, let's get back to the episode.
Here's point number 1 about Florida. It's not one Hispanic market, it's actually 5. And this is the most important thing I can tell you about marketing to Hispanics in Florida. If you treat Hispanics as one mono audience, you're going to fail. Let's talk Miami-Dade, 50% Cuban. Orlando, a mix of Puerto Rican and Venezuelan. Tampa, all 3. In fact, Jacksonville's Cuban population jumped from 2.6% to 11.3% in just a couple decades. Southwest Florida, mostly Mexican and Central American. Each community has different cultural norms, different immigration stories, different language nuances, different jokes, and ultimately different trust signals. A Cuban grandmother in Hialeah and a Venezuelan family in Kissimmee are not the same audience. They speak the same language, Spanish, but they don't share the same culture, the same legal needs, or even the same trust triggers. One-size-fits-all Spanish ads don't work in Florida. They don't work in California. They don't work in Texas. You have to understand the nuanced communities. So here's what's really unique about Florida. Screen cap this. Cubans' largest population in the US is in Florida. Same with Puerto Ricans and Colombians. Venezuelans are the fastest growing group nationally, up almost 200% in just the last decade and a half. This is not a niche. This is a very complex market. Number 2, Florida bar compliance. Here's what you need to know this year, because Florida has some of the strictest attorney advertising rules in the whole country. And if you're running Spanish ads, these rules also apply to every single one of them. Pre-filing is going to still be required in Spanish. That's for your TV ads, your radio ads, your billboards, your bus backs, your social media videos, your banner ads. They all have to be submitted to the Florida bar for review before distribution. And every submission costs up to a couple $100. So your Spanish ads are not exempt from this. Every single one goes through the same process. So here's what's not required: your own website, your social media pages, your YouTube channel, but they still must comply with substantive advertising rules. The bar can still investigate and discipline you for non-compliant content on your website or social. And of course, they are monitoring this in Spanish because of how dense the Hispanic population is in Florida. As of May last year, all opinion letters are sent via email. Still, you have to submit ads by snail mail. There's also a new file number format that you have to investigate before you send it. There's no online filing yet. We actually had an interview with someone at the Florida State Bar who said that would happen eventually. Payments must be by check payable to the Florida Bar. So of course you should know this. If you don't, it's a good refresher on rules of professional conduct for advertising. You can't say that you're going to predict success. You can't say that you're the best. You can't share prior results or testimonials without written consent. You can't say, I will win your case. You can't have comparative claims. And ultimately, past results must be objectively verifiable. Aspirational words like goal and dedicated are totally fine. And claims of specialization do require board certification. Language matters, even in Spanish. So I want to share examples of Florida firms doing Hispanic marketing the right way. These are the firms that figured it out, and you should follow suit. Let's talk about the Ward Law Group, 855dolor55.com/ES. They're in Miami and Orlando. Janie Martinez Ward, she's the face. Their phone number is 855-DOLOR. Dolor is the Spanish word for pain. They've recovered over $500 million. They're 100% committed to the Hispanic community. There's Spanish for everything. Their website, billboard, social media, all in Spanish. They're one of the fastest growing Hispanic PI firms in the country. And I would wager that less than 5% of their cases are those from the general market, meaning those that only speak English. Let's talk about Abogada Carolina Nunez, abogadanunez.com. She's in Orlando, Daytona Beach, daughter of immigrants. She puts that story out there for everyone to see. Again, Spanish first. Their phone number, 386 Pleitos. Pleitos means lawsuits or litigation in Spanish. Her entire brand is built on being the abogada who speaks your language. She's super personal, super community first, and she's culturally authentic. Obviously, being Hispanic is some degree of leverage, but believe it or not, most of the clients that we have, they're not Hispanic and they're dominating the Hispanic market, but they're paying attention to this cultural nuance that gives them some competitive advantage. The Pendez Law Firm, pendezlaw.com. They have 12 offices statewide across Florida, also in a couple other states. Full Spanish site, statewide Hispanic reach. Every practice area page is covered in Spanish. And lastly, George Acosta, attorneyacosta.com. He's Cuban born. He's a Vietnam veteran, 20 plus years in Florida, practices in Spanish and English, full bilingual staff, Tampa, Miami, Orlando. This guy does PI, bankruptcy, immigration, family law. His story alone is a trust signal for the Cuban and broader Hispanic community. Which brings us to number 4. Don't translate your ads, recreate them. I've said this before and I'll say it again until every firm in Florida gets it. A Cuban audience in Miami will respond differently to advertising than a Puerto Rican audience in Orlando. There's different humor, different shorthand, different formality levels, even different family dynamics. And if you run the same Spanish ad in both cities, you're wasting money in at least one of them. Cultural fluency is not translation. It's understanding who you're talking to. The tone, the images that you use, the cultural references, the jokes, the music, the family dynamics, and the creative. All of it has to match the specific community you're targeting. Google Translate will never get you there. Google Translate is not going to tell you that Florida has 5 distinct communities that you need to speak to differently. Point number 5, Florida-specific legal needs by Hispanic subgroup. This is a slide your competitors have never seen. Here are the legal demand trends that we see within the Cuban community. More estate planning, more business law, and immigration status changes, especially in Miami-Dade County. Many are second and third generation U.S. citizens now. Their legal needs have evolved beyond immigration into wealth preservation and business formation. Puerto Ricans see an uplift in PI cases, employment law, family law, really no immigration barrier. They're concentrated in Central Florida and the I-4 corridor. They're all U.S. citizens, so there's rarely an immigration barrier. But there is a language preference and a cultural affinity that Spanish first marketing does capture. Venezuelan and Central American communities are creating an increased demand in immigration cases, workers' comp cases, unfortunately, wage theft, fear of enforcement. These are growing rapidly across Florida. Many are recent arrivals that are navigating a system they don't understand in a language that isn't natively theirs. So there is a need for a trusted abogado, and it's like right now. Number 6, bilingual intake is non-negotiable in Florida. In Miami, if you don't answer in Spanish, you don't exist. In Orlando, it's the difference between being competitive or invisible. In Tampa, it's an emerging advantage. If your ad says "Hablamos español" and your intake team answers in English, you lost the case. We'll stop. The prospect called because your ad made a promise, and then the intake person, well, they broke that promise. They'll hang up, and they're going to call the next firm within 30 seconds. So answer calls in Spanish from the very first second. Not, oh, let me transfer you, not hold please, let me find someone. Spanish from the hello. That's the standard. The Ward Law Group does this. Carolina Nunez does this. The firms winning in this market, all the ones that we just recapped, they're all doing this. Number 7, Florida's tort reform makes speed really urgent, and most Hispanic clients don't know about the change. The statute of limitations dropped from 4 years to 2 years for negligence in 2023. That means your Hispanic clients have 50% of the time that they used to have to bring a claim. Most of them don't even know it. Your Spanish marketing needs to communicate this urgency. Time is no longer on their side. Every ad, every piece of content, every social media post, every video ad, every intake call needs to reinforce that waiting costs them their case. This is a compliance and a marketing issue. Most firms are, frankly, they're sleeping on it. Which brings us to point number 8. The firms that own this market will own it for a generation. Same thesis, Florida specific. The Ward Law Group didn't become the fastest growing Hispanic PI firm by accident. They built a brand, the intake, the community presence, and the Spanish first digital infrastructure years ago. And now it's compounding. It's like a huge asset to have this Spanish marketing system. Now their competitors are spending 10 times what they are, just trying to catch up. So there's 5 million Hispanic people in Florida, and the smartest firms, they're already all in on this market. The question is whether you want to build the moat now or pay a premium to climb over your competition later. So to recap, Florida is not one Hispanic market. It's 5 distinct markets. Point number 2, Florida bar compliance, it applies to every Spanish ad. Number 3, study the firms doing it right. Go back, rewind. Those are the firms that you want to emulate. Number 4, don't translate, recreate. Number 5, different subgroups have different legal needs. Number 6, bilingual intake, non-negotiable. This is more nationwide trend, I would say. Number 7, tort reform makes urgency messaging absolutely critical. And lastly, the firms that own this market now will own it for a generation. At Abogados Now, we built the playbook for this exact market and other markets like it nationwide. Culturally fluent, trusted by 500 firms nationwide. We don't do that translation nonsense. We build Spanish for strategies specifically for the communities that you serve. So if you're ready to build your Hispanic marketing strategy, and I'm talking to you, attorneys in Florida, we'll show you the opportunity in your market. Book a call. The link is in the description. Let's talk.